On Zcraft in our summer district, we turned an entire woodland mansion into a cruise ship. And as I was building this roller coaster on the top deck, an empty space formed which needed to be filled. I thought it would be fun to try and build one of those wave machines you sometimes see on cruise ships, or at least you do on Google Images. But as I was building it, I realised I could turn it into a little minigame. I added a bit of redstone to randomly dispense some items, and that was basically all it needed. 2 players in boats push up against the flowing water, trying to grab as many nuggets as they can. And for a little last-minute game idea, this actually turned into something fun. So today I want to expand on this idea and build a better version over in our gaming district. And I initially thought it would be cool to have a circle like this, so that we are boating around, and there's a whole ring to boat around. Maybe half a circle would work. But the main problem that I experienced here was that when we connected up the water, it will basically try to make source blocks in the corners. So here we end up with this situation where the water is no longer flowing, and I think the flowing water to the centre is an important mechanic of the game. So this didn't really work out. I tried a different thing here where it kind of cascades down, but again, if I break this wall here, all of these source blocks will fuse together and this whole area will be source blocks, which again won't work for this idea. So instead, I think we're going to go with something like this, where all the items will pull together in the center and we simply have 2 different sides. So players will still have to pay attention. Maybe the best strategy will be kind of to zigzag along these waves, which is also quite a satisfying thing to do. So as for the arena size, I think this will probably do. It might not even need to be this big, to be completely honest. But imagine, we've got 4 players in here, all on boats. We don't want them colliding with each other the whole time. So I do like the idea of having a bit of space. Now, I do think I will be dispensing items the same way. And the way that we did this in-game is we actually used a dispenser. Normally, when you want to dispense items and just drop them, you would use a dropper instead of a dispenser. But the reason I used a dispenser is because I actually used shears as a type of randomizer. So when you've got a dispenser like this, it will actively try to use any one of these shears because there are things that you can shear with a dispenser, like a sheep. So if I activate this dispenser now, you see it tried to fire and it failed. So I think we will still use dispensers, and I think we will still use iron nuggets as the items to collect. It's kind of like a classic thing. Mainly because once you've got an iron farm, nuggets are very easy to get a lot of them. And you can see here, it gets dispensed. It kind of gets thrown up in the air, which should hopefully make it easier to see. And then it ends up coming into the center. And look, it bounces in the water here. Now, I don't mind that there will be items in the center that players can collect, but I don't want people to just go back and forth in the middle to just collect these items in the center. I feel like that is just, that will become the winning strategy, and players will no longer be interacting with the waves, which is kind of the whole point of the game. So in order to discourage that, what I might do is in some of these dispensers, we might have a negative item. So maybe we choose something that's really easy to spot, like apples. Again, quite easy to get hold of them. And sometimes an apple will be dispensed and you don't want to pick this up, right? This will be worth negative points. And maybe they are quite rare, but worth negative 5 points, and the nuggets are just worth 1, something like that. However, I do have one more idea that I want to test, and this could make things a little bit more interesting. So if we have TNT in the dispenser, I haven't tested this. I want to see how far it goes and whether it interacts with the items that are in the center. So if we dispense this, it does not travel far at all. Now that is partly due to the bubbles. So if we change this out and make it so there aren't any bubbles here. Oh, we'll probably need to do this on either side here. How far does it travel? Absolutely not far enough. Okay. What happens when there's a block in front? It will dispense into the block. See, this is the science stage of designing a game. So the dispenser is here. How can I test this very well? Can I test this with a skulk sensor? Okay, that actually seemed to work. So yeah, I think we will maybe have 6 spots around here where the TNT can spawn in. Time-wise, I think we might still want to keep the game to be a minute long. Sometimes these like item collection games can drag on a little bit, and the mechanics here are going to be very, very simple. So I probably want to keep things as tight as they can be, with the option of, you can play multiple rounds. I would always recommend keeping your games on the shorter side. That way, you would much rather people finish a game and want to play it again, rather than people get to 3/4 of the game and wish it had finished. You want people to come away with a positive feeling from the games. A lot of the times I do like a 5-minute item clock, when 3 minutes is probably better. But for this, we'll do like an arrow 1-minute timer. So we can essentially use the same redstone that we have already designed in the Summer District. And that's basically it. So I've been tweaking the way that these randomizers work and testing how many items we get. There's a few different variables that we can change. We can change the randomness inside the dispensers, so how many shears as opposed to how many items. We can change the ratio of apples. Currently we have 5 dispensers with apples in. And there we go, we can see an apple. I want them to be quite rare, but something that you need to look out for, because it is -5 points. And we can also change the ratio of these randomizers here. So there's been a few different things that I can tweak, including the clock rate as well. And I'm hoping I've landed on something where we get maybe a couple of apples, 3 or 4 apples maybe each round, and then at least a stack of nuggets. So let's see what we've got here. So we actually only got 2 apples, but we got a stack and a half of nuggets. That feels a little bit lopsided to me, but let's give it another go and we'll see what the ratio is like. Yeah, one of the reasons I don't want too many apples is I don't want people finishing with like a negative score, I want it to be something that people do have to look out for. You see, we've got a few more apples this time. This is feeling a little bit more like what I was expecting. But yeah, people may end the game with 1 apple or 2 apples, which isn't too bad as long as they're picking up maybe 20, 25 nuggets. If people are getting 15 nuggets, then I want them to have, 1 apple or no apples. Some people will maybe be a bit more cautious around the edges. Wow, that's a lot of TNT. We definitely got more apples this time. But the nuggets feels about the same. So again, a stack and a half. That's what, 91 items. So for 4 players, on average, players are going to get slightly more than 20. I think that works quite well. I think 20 is probably the goal though. So I'll do one more tweak. And all I'm doing to tweak this, if you're curious, we had this 6-tick clock here. It's now a 9-tick clock. And I'm just going to make it a 10-tick clock. I bet there will be some games of this where we don't get any TNT and some where we get a lot. That's the beauty of having randomizers on top of randomizers. It's just, you know, each game will be quite different, which I like. And yeah, the range on the TNT is quite good because there's a lot of space in the arena that is free from the TNT. But if you're gathering nuggets over in the corner here, when that TNT blows or when that TNT ignites, you've really got to try and push against the current of the water to escape. So I've got 3 apples, really happy with that, and 84 nuggets. Yes, this feels very good now. I'm happy with how we've balanced it. And now I think we just want to test it with some players. Okay, I've gathered some friends on the server and we're going to give this game a proper try. Yeah, I definitely think the F5 view is required for this. And it does feel like we have a lot of space here. Maybe once we're chasing after the same nuggets we'll bump into each other a bit more, but yeah, I'm liking this. Here we go. The nuggets should start coming out. And we want to chase them down, keep an eye out for any apples, and of course TNT. Oh, got to get that one. Nope, dome on the apple. I'm wondering if anyone's going to end up picking that one up, or if we will be able to dodge it. Oh, go around. So it does seem like we've managed to dodge it so far. That is good. I did want the apples to kind of be a bit of an obstruction more than anything. Oh, no, I picked it up. I said all that and then went and picked it up. Oh, dear. But 18 nuggets, that feels very good. I do feel like the game is missing some sounds. Maybe I could put some kind of jingle on the clock or something like that. But, yeah, I'm liking... Come on, let's get these... No. The apple went straight to me. Okay. Oh. Well, yeah, we didn't get any TNT. Oh, nice. The scores were all quite close together. I'm guessing Karaon got an apple or two. Because like we tested, there's usually more than 18 nuggets in total. So we're going to give it another go. Yeah, the feedback that time was lack of TNT and maybe the apples aren't the best mechanic. Oh, okay, we got some TNT. Okay, good to know that's working at least. Oh, dear me, dear me, dear me. Okay, the TNT definitely adds a fun... Oh! Oh, the apples are funny. I think the apples are quite fun. Oh, we picked up a lot of nuggets there. Let's come across and get these. But yeah, maybe increase TNT and no apples. Oh! I'm nearly dead. Oh dear. No, 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 no. Okay, okay. That's fun that it got a kill. Interesting just how... Well, that worked. Honestly, dodging the TNT and dodging the people was a lot more fun. So we're going to test this now. And this is why we test things. You know, this is really good feedback from the group. We're going to get rid of all of the apples. So there's no negative points anymore. It will just be nuggets that we need to collect and TNT that we need to avoid. Okay, so we've removed all of the apples. We're going to go again. So there's just nuggets to collect and TNT to avoid. It really is like a... Oh, I heard the sound. Oh my god. Okay, that was crazy. We all survived. I saw one boat get broken, but he survived. That's good. Now I only have 9 nuggets. The apple is just... I was just eating it to get back some health. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, it's fun. I'm enjoying this. I do like that the nuggets kind of fly to the other side as well, so you don't necessarily need to be near where the nuggets are in order to pick them up. Yeah, that makes sense. I would have thought F5 mode is a lot more helpful. You get more of a kind of surrounding view of what's out there. And let's see who won this one. It felt like a good round for me. Oh, wow. Jade got loads. And there we have it. We made some improvements to the game. I definitely think taking out the apples worked well. I initially thought that without the apples there would be a strategy of just staying in the centre, but I didn't see that at all from testing. There was a lot of movement, there was dodging TNT, there was bumping into each other. You could go quite fast on the edges to collect the nuggets. All in all, I had fun. I think it's quite a fun game. It's not the greatest game I've ever made, but it is a game, and that's what counts. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed.